Are you tired of feeling drained? And do you feel like maybe your spark or your creative energy is just gone? It's disappeared? Well, I want to give you a new perspective on energy and um, see if it just triggers any thoughts. Maybe you could try some new things because our energy is not just about the sleep that we get. While yeah, that's important. We need uh we need sufficient sleep and enough sleep. But our typical patterns of behavior, like the thoughts that we have all the time, what are your dominant thoughts? For example, mine used to be some variation of what's wrong with me. Now, that is an incredibly energy draining question because you're always seeking to find that answer of what's wrong with me. And believe me, you are going to come up with an answer for whatever question that you ask yourself. So that's the first thing. Like, what's your dominant question? Now, mine is how can I grow from this? What can I learn? And that is a very empowering question, and it doesn't suck the life out of me. Whereas what's wrong with me really just completely it depletes your energy. So that's one thing. Um, and it's always interesting to kind of consciously become aware of what's that question, and you'll see how many hours a day you spend asking that question. And I guarantee you, you would be absolutely floored if you took a little inventory of the time that you spend in worry or asking that dominant question. I mean, I literally used to spend hours a day in worry. Worry time, anxiety, all very depleting. So, let's talk about energy in the body real quick. Now, uh, we have seven main energy centers, and it starts at the base of your spine, goes up to the crown of your head, like that dude. So anyway, what happens? Why we tend to be so drained is because our first three energy centers, one, two, three, are root, sacral, and solar plexus. Our energy gets stuck there. Our fear and trauma, our wounding, all the crap that's happened to us in our lives, well, it gets stored in the body. It also gets stored in the brain, the amygdala. Um, but I don't want to talk about that right now. Um, so our trauma is literally stored in the body. And what do we do constantly on a daily basis? We replay our trauma. We replay it. It's a movie in our heads. And science has shown us that most of the time our memories aren't even accurate. The general details will be right, but memory is creative and we are constantly growing and changing. And so typically, if you have something bad that's happened to you, you might emphasize it or exaggerate, you might make it worse, or you might diminish the shit that somebody else has done to you and said, oh, it's not that bad, it's just me. Like we all do this. We all do this. So the reason why energy gets trapped in our lower three energy centers is because we tend to not face our fears, our wounding, our trauma. We choose subconsciously to keep reliving it, and we relive it and we relive it. And to the body, like to the body and the brain, it responds as if that event is still happening to you in real time. And then that drives that energy depletion further into your nervous system, and you keep firing the hormones of stress. So this is what we mean living in survival mode, right? You constantly have stress activated for the majority of the time in your waking day. So, um, when I learned about all of this, it totally blew my mind. The I'd never heard really about any of this before. I wasn't aware of my thoughts. I didn't really know that I could control my thoughts and that I could learn to respond to things instead of just react. And I learned that I have a lot more power and control over my life and my energy and my awareness than I knew was possible, which is why education is so great, right? We learn stuff we never knew before. So let's talk about now, we'll wrap it up on things that you can do to help move that stagnant energy. And the first thing is simply there's an acronym called RAIN, RAIN. This is like mindfulness 101. RAIN, you recognize a feeling, an emotion, a thought, a problem. You simply recognize it. Then A is you acknowledge it, you accept it, whatever word works better for you. Acknowledgement is probably better because you may not want to accept a shitty thing, but acknowledge how you feel. So you recognize how you feel, then you acknowledge it and just allow it to be there. Just say, okay, I'm angry or I'm hurt or I'm being judgmental, whatever it is, just acknowledge it to be there. Then the I is investigate. Go a little bit deeper into what is the source of whatever you're feeling. Maybe you feel judged by somebody else, and just investigate those feelings. So recognize, acknowledge, slash allow, investigate. And then N is non-attachment. So you want to not be, you don't want to feel hostage to your thoughts or to your situation or your environment. So going through the process of acknowledging and just kind of allowing things to be as they are and investigating your thoughts and how you feel in your body kind of naturally begins to dissipate that like energy, that forceful domineering or wanting to control energy or feeling out of control. So don't attach to an outcome and allow your emotions to flow through like water. And waters are a real helpful visualization, like the ocean. It ebbs and flows, and sometimes it is ferocious, and other times it's absolutely calm. Sometimes it's just a little choppy. We are all the things. We're people. We feel every single emotion. Um, yeah. So that's all I wanted to say about energy centers for today. So the takeaway is be aware of your thoughts. You have control. What is your dominant question? Is it something draining, like what's wrong with me? A variation of that? Or is it something life giving, energy giving, like how can I grow? And then we learned about how energy gets stuck in these first three centers because there are survival centers and they're heavily associated with just the body. How do I keep my body safe? So we get stuck there, our trauma is stored there. And because we stay in a state of chronic stress, then that energy never gets a chance to move up into the heart, into the throat, into the brain, where that energy can then be transformed. I'll talk about that more on another video. But thank you for watching my live. I hope y'all have a great day. Mwah. Go